Good Friday. And the question for today is, was Friday a good day? We call it Good Friday, but how good was it? Was it really good? We often say Friday is good because Sunday is coming, or Friday was good because Sunday was coming, in terms of the resurrection of Christ. And there have been many really wonderful songs written about this, expecting Easter. But I can't help but think that that's a little bit of a cop-out to call that Friday a Good Friday. Because if we're having a hard time, if we're having a really bad day, things aren't turning out the way we expected them to, if we're in pain, we don't usually sit back and think, oh good, thank God, tomorrow is going to be so much better. When everything is difficult, it's very difficult to project our feelings to the future, to a tomorrow which might or might not turn out better, in the hope that it will turn better. The Friday itself was a devastating day. Jesus, the Son of God, absolutely blameless, the lover of our souls, was sentenced to death. However we look at it, the Friday was a devastating day. And we're going to read the accounts of this from Matthew chapter 27, verses 15 to 26. Now at the feast, the governor was accustomed to release for the people any one prisoner whom they wanted. At that time, they were holding a notorious prisoner called Barabbas. So when the people gathered together, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to release for you, Barabbas or Jesus, who is called Christ?" For he knew that because of envy they had handed him over. While he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent him a message saying, "Have nothing to do with that righteous man, for last night I suffered greatly in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowds to ask for Barabbas and to put Jesus to death. But the governor said to them, "Which of the two do you want me to release for you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "Then what shall I do with Jesus who is called Christ?" They all said, "Crucify him." And he said, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they kept shouting all the more, saying, "Crucify him." When Pilate saw that he was accomplishing nothing, but rather that a riot was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of this man's blood. See to that yourselves." And all the people said, "His blood shall be on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas for them, but after having Jesus scourged, he handed him over to be crucified. It was Passover when Jesus was tried. He was tried at a time when the redemption of God's people from slavery was celebrated. He was taken to the cross for the redemption of his own followers. On a day when the redemption of God's people from slavery, from Egypt, was celebrated, Jesus was handed over, taken to the cross for the redemption of those who decide to follow him. In Jewish calendar, there is one day which is the Atonement Day, and that's the only day when Jews are required to fast. Now, historically, Jews started fasting 2 days a week just for religious reasons, but the only day that they're actually by law required to fast is the Atonement Day. And on the Atonement Day, they fast and ask for forgiveness of their sins. You can read about this from Leviticus 16, verses 7 to 10. And on the Atonement Day, 2 absolutely identical goats were brought to the high priest. The high priest would decide on the goat's fate. He would release one to freedom, and he would sacrifice the other as a sin offering for the forgiveness of God's people. On Good Friday, 2 men were brought to Pilate. One was Jesus, the Son of God, and the other one was Barabbas, whose real name, according to the early manuscripts, by the way, was Jesus Barabbas. And Barabbas being derived from Bar Abba, which actually means son of the Father. So Jesus, son of the Father, in small case letters, was brought to Pilate, as well as Jesus, the Son of God. And Pilate asked the crowd for their decision as to the faith of these 2 people. And the crowd said, "Crucify Jesus." So with Pilate's permission, Jesus Barabbas was set free. A notorious murderer, a prisoner, was set free. And the Son of God was sent to the cross. And this time, not a goat, but the Son of God was sent to the cross for the forgiveness of our sins once and for all. It was a devastating day. Good Friday wasn't a good day. But Sunday, God turned everything around, because that's what he does. He turned the devastating situation into his opportunity and made history as Jesus came back to life. If today is a good day for you, I'm really glad. But if today is not a very good day for you, I'm sure it would be extremely difficult for you to think, but tomorrow might be fine and I'm good. But our comfort is that our Redeemer, Jesus, the Son of God, has given his life for all of us, once and for all. That there will be a tomorrow, hope, freedom, and a future for us. Whether today is a Good Friday or a bad Friday, the Son of God is able to turn it all around and accomplish his purpose in each of our lives. We don't often hear about Jesus Barabbas. That's because over time his name was taken out of the scriptures because it would have been not very honoring to Jesus. But Jesus came for the likes of him and for the likes of us, that there might be freedom and hope for us all. May you experience hope in absolute abundance.